Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Fired Up Life Show. Kamusta po kayo? My name is Kirby Liaban, keeping you fired up. Today, it's a Fired Up Tuesday. Ayan po, our topic will be about hanging on or moving on. How to know when it's time to shift, di ba? That's a big question that we need to ask ourselves when we are at a crossroads. Mananatili nga ba ako dito sa aking trabaho, dito sa aking ginagawa, sa aking negosyo? Or is it time to just accept and do something else? Yeah, no? So, how do we know when it's time to shift? What are the good reasons when it's time to do something else really with our lives? Ayan po. So, let me know if you can relate with this topic. Ayan, hang on or move on. The context here is more of life in general. Siguro yung iba nag-iisip, is it about relationships? Ayan, maybe some things can apply as well. Ayan po. So how do we know when it's time to shift? How do we know when it's time to do something else, something different? Ayan po. If you're watching this live right now, ayan po, ano na lang, paki-share sa inyong profile and just tag your friends if they need to hear this today. Ayan po, it's a fired up Tuesday. Mainit pa rin dito sa ating sa ating bansa, ang Pilipinas. All right, all right. All right. So, let's go. Let's get it on. And of course, yes, the Fired Up Live show is here to get you motivated and focused in pursuing your dreams and living out your faith. Yun pa rin po ang ating purpose of having this show, motivation and focus. So we need to get motivated each and every day. Ayan po, that's why I post daily motivational thoughts. And of course, twice a week, I come out here live to get that dose, to give you that dose of motivation and focus so you can live a fired up life. Ayan po. Ayan, so the Fired Up Life show is all about getting you motivated for work and life. Diba? Work is sometimes a big pain point in our lives. Work can sometimes drain the life out of us. So how do we find ways where we actually find our purpose in our work, where we can find our work as something that helps us build a more fulfilled life. Ayan po. Okay. So let's get fired up today. The Fired Up Life show. Ayan. We're live on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So today is a Tuesday. Kaya live po tayo ngayon. Ayan. So let me know if you're around. Let me know if you're watching this. Ayan. So, yes. Hang on or move on. How to know when it's time to shift. How to know when it's time to do something else with our lives. Ayan po. All right. So let's get fired up. Let's get on. So, sometimes baka we feel like we're tired and worn out, no, napapagod na tayo or hindi na tayo, no, nawalan na tayo ng gana, nawalan na tayo ng lakas para gawin ang gusto nating gawin or dapat nating gawin. And when we feel that way, sometimes parang napapaisip tayo, give up na lang kaya, tigil ko na lang kaya tong ginagawa to. And I'm sure you feel that sometimes. Bakit ko ba ginagawa tong ginagawa ko ngayon? Why am I still pursuing the things that I do? Napakahirap. No, it's not easy. Then is it still fulfilling for me? Is it still helping me to become a better person? Ayan. So I don't know if you feel this, no? Pagod ka na at gamit na gamit. You're worn out. You've been doing it for a couple of years already. Ayan. And then, sometimes, we think about this, na parang when we give up, baka malapit na. No, you never know when you're, how close you are when you just keep on hustling, moving forward, and doing the hustle. Yan, di ba? Kasi totoo din naman, you have to pursue things, you don't give up when trials come, when challenges come in your life. Wag basta-bastang sumuko kasi hindi mo alam na nandyan na yon, no? Malapit na yung inaasam mong success in life. Ayan, so just never give up. There's also that school of thought. But what we're actually gonna suggest here is what if you're digging in the wrong direction? And how do you know if you're digging in the right or wrong direction? Ayan, so you feel like you're almost there, but baka nagdududa ka rin. Is it really the way to go forward? All right, all right. So how do you know if you're gonna hang on to what you're doing or you're gonna move on and do something else with your life? Ayan, ayan. So, it's about making a decision to stay or shift. Shift, minsan, big decision, shift in where you're going to stay, shift in getting a new job, shift in business, baka hindi nagwo-work yung business mo ngayon, you want to shift to something else. How do you know when it's time to do those things already? How do you know when it's time to somehow, the big word is give up or quit, do something else, focus on something else, di ba? Kaya baka when we stay, baka we feel like nothing's happening with our lives anymore. Ayan, ayan. So, let's get fired up today, guys. Ayan, let's get fired up today. And hey, let me know in the comments if you're watching this right now. And tag your friends sa mga kaibigan mo na nag-iisip na na lang, mag-move forward in another direction in life, especially in their careers. How do you know when it's time to shift careers? Okay, okay. Yan. So, just let me lay down first before I give some of my thoughts here in our Fired Up Life show. There are also poor reasons to shift. Baka baka lang pabigla-bigla tayong nagde-decide to quit, to move on, to do something else with our lives, pero hindi pala siya magandang reason. So at least in my thoughts, in my mind, these are some not so valid reason to shift. No? So unang poor reason to shift would be when you just feel it's difficult. Parang ang hirap naman ng work na to, nahihirapan ka, may mga challenges, ano lang siya, talagang ayaw mo siyang ginagawa, mahirap. No? Yung word na ang hirap naman ito, kaya alis na ako. No matter where you go, no matter what kind of work you do, even if it's your passion, or if something that you're involved in that requires a service, mahirap talaga. No? There will always be that difficulty. And the challenge is how to overcome that difficulty and be able to um, find ways to overcome that difficulty and challenges in your life. Ayan, hello, hello, Anna Rose. Thanks for watching. And so, I think that's a poor reason to shift. No, when you feel like it's just difficult, mahirap lang siya. Ayan. And another is when there's a bit of conflict in relationships. I think that's a poor reason to shift or to go into another direction. May hindi ka lang kasundong tao. Conflicts in relationships happen, especially in the workplace, especially may like difference in opinion. No, and I think things can be sorted out through dialogue. Things can be helped, in terms of uh, just mitigating your reasons, and there's also forgiveness, there's also that, no? And I think you always have to overcome this conflict of relationships, no? So it's a poor reason to shift pag yun lang, no, may hindi ka lang kasundo, alis ka na, no? Or some people say nabobore ako sa aking work, no? When you're bored, and then I think it's up to you to make it a bit challenging. I think it's up to you to bring it to the next level, no? You're there to contribute, you're there to bring in new ideas. So pag na-bored ka, maybe it's just like you're always at the receiving end. You're not using your gift of thinking as much as you should. Okay. So I think these are the three reasons that I find na people shift directions biglaan just because of a little sign of discomfort. Okay. A little sign of uneasiness. So I think those are poor reasons to shift. Ayan po. So, there are times that you have to fight through some bad days to earn the best days of your life. I love this. It's not always a bed of roses, or shall we say, you're not always having that paved path when we want to achieve something in life. May mga araw talaga na mainit katulad ngayon. May mga araw talaga na things are not working well for you, things are not in your direction, or you get rejected. The decisions that were made by the higher ups did not go in your favor. May mga bad days din talaga, or you happen to land on a client na parang difficult client, mahirap kausap, elusive, hindi nagre-respond. May mga araw talaga na ganyan. No? So, I think you have to fight through some bad days para you can also savor the sweetness of your victories, di ba? What is the sweetness of success if not for the challenges that have come with it? Ayan, so kailangan there will be days that laban lang, no? Kailangan lumaban lang din tayo. Okay. So, having said these things, no, there are poor reasons to shift, to go into another direction, no, but there are also valid reasons to really stay. Kailangan i-pursue lang, never to give up, keep on moving forward. I always have that as a default, but also you have to look at the other side of the coin when it's time to make a shift in our lives. I went through that. No, I went through a difficult shift from even missionary life to entrepreneurial life, and who knows where God will still lead me in the future in my own journey. So how do we discern for this? How do we find out na panahon na para baguhin na ang direksyon ng ating buhay? Hello, Hearts Alquizola, and thank you for being here. Ayan. So, 5 ways to know when it's time to shift. Ito yung aking recommendations. Okay, and you can add on to this list as well. Okay, first, when you feel like you're not growing anymore. Ayan. So, I think this is a valid reason, because as human beings, we thrive when we feel like there is growth. Okay? If you're doing the same things for 5 years and parang everything is not anymore meaningful to you, and maybe it's comfortable, maybe it's kind of a safe zone, but there will always be that part of you that is looking for growth. And when I say growth, it's it's a part of us that affects our emotionality and our mentality, 'di ba? Kasi progress is happiness, 'di ba? Progress is happiness. And I can see this para sa mga plantitos and plantitas, 'di ba? When you see your plants grow, ayan, 'di ba? Pag namumulaklak na, you feel happy. No, para sa mga nagtatanim ng gulay, pag nakapag-harvest tayo, 'di ba? And we actually get to eat our own crops. There is growth. Tapos kinakain na, we feel so fulfilled, no? But if you feel like there's no growth in you, baka lang you might be living a very unhappy existence. Okay? So, if you're in the management, diba, it's good to shift the roles of people so that they can find new challenges, they can find new learnings in life. Maybe expose your employees to new trainings, new certificates to be attained, ayan, no? Or give them a different role, or 'di ba, promote them. Ayan. So, pag hindi mo nararamdaman yung growth, it affects your emotional well-being also. And when you feel like you're stagnating in that, you might be missing out on the things that you should be learning outside, 'di ba? So, I think this is the first indicator na pag hindi mo na nararamdaman yung paglago mo and I think you should be able to shift it. In my business, when I feel like I've achieved a certain thing, for example, being able to have an online show, ayan, no, that was one breakthrough. Then after a while, I felt like I'm used to it, so I started to deal with webinars, no, online course memberships. I started to study about email marketing. I started to study about online memberships. And these things help me feel the growth. Parang there's always something new that you're learning. There's a new skill that's being added onto you. Kasi over time, you have to grow your skill set. And you have to be in that environment where your skill set is continuously being deepened, developed, and mastered. Okay, so I think it's time to shift when you feel like you're not growing in that surroundings, in that place anymore. Number two, I feel like kailangan to move on or to shift when your values are being compromised, di ba? Pag sinabing values, there can be a lot of things. Family values, or other things like your faith, it's being compromised for the longest time because maybe you're dealing with some dishonesty, di ba? And mahalaga sa'yo na you are doing honest work, that you are doing honest labor. Ayan, no? And somehow you turn the blind eye on these things, no? Baka hindi na maganda para sa kaluluwa mo. No? So that's when I say when the values are being compromised. And values, iba-iba yung weight ng values for us eh. So we value integrity. Ayan, how long have you been compromising your integrity because of where you are now? Ayan, 'di ba? Baka hindi na siya yung tamang lugar. You have to find peace in your life. Maybe you value also the peace, and maybe your business is disrupting so much of your peace na hindi ka na nakakatulog, hindi ka na nagiging masaya, that maybe part of your values is really being able to spend time with your family. Ayan, and these things are important to you, and they're being compromised for the longest time. And maybe you have to find ways where your value should be intact. Your value should be there because that is your reason and the basis for decision making. Ayan. So there you go. When your values are being compromised, maybe it's time to look for something new. Kasi baka hindi na nakakabuti para sa inyong sarili, at of course for the sake of your own spirituality, for the sake of your own soul. Ayan. So that's number 2, guys, in terms of uh, palatandaan that we have to do something else or to go to a new direction. I quoted here, um, Alberto, what's this? Let me make this bigger. Ayan. So, Alberto Villoldo, ayan. No, before you can move in new directions, you must first let go of what's not working for you. Ayan. No? So, there are things that parang this is not working for me. Pero patuloy mo pa rin siyang ginagawa kahit hindi siya nagwo-work for you. Kahit di mo siya masikmura, pero ginagawa mo pa rin siya. It compromises your values. So there are things that don't work, pero siguro dahil nakasanayan na natin, hindi natin mapakawalan, hindi natin ma-let go just because it's what you've been doing for the longest time. So, you want to go to a new direction, you have to learn to let go of things that are not working for you. 'Di ba? Kasi minsan pinaninindigan natin yung mga bagay because we put a lot of effort there, but it's not working eh. Kumbaga, you've done everything, you've tried everything. Sige, panindigan pa rin natin, but it's not working anymore. So, how can you move in a new direction pag pinipilit mo yung isang bagay na that's not bringing the solutions in your life? Okay, so let's look at that. Let's look at that part. Now, number 3, the third way to know that you should be shifting to new things. Ayan, when a new opportunity can bring out the best in you. Ayan, no? So you feel like there's something new that's being offered to you, and pinagdasal mo siya ng matagal, Lord, give me this break in my life. Then suddenly there's an offer that comes, and you're discerning, you're praying, okay na ako dito sa aking pinagsistayhan eh, okay na ako dito sa aking business or career or job. Yeah, but suddenly there's this new opportunity that you feel like, ayan, it will bring out the talent that I should be bringing out. It's a bit scary, but at the same time, it's a good opportunity. Huh? Maybe monetarily, it's a good opportunity. And mas mahirap siya, pero wag matakot kasi if it only brings out the best in you, then why not? Why not take on that that path? Ayan. So, ganun din, no? For entrepreneurs, opportunities, just all around. And it's up to us if we are going to venture into that new opportunity. No, will it bring out the best in you? Pag sinabing bringing out the best in you, there comes a point where you have to somehow break, no? Parang meron kang breaking point. Parang yung muscle, 'di ba? You work out, then it hurts until you overcome that hurt and it becomes something that you can already tolerate. It's something that you can already carry yung weight. Do ganun din, no? When we are brought to a new opportunity, parang we become ignorant again, we become students again, and we're trying to learn new things again, di ba, pagbago yung environment. But hey, if it brings out the best in you, lumalabas yung kung sino ka at ang galing mo, ayan, maybe that is the direction to be led to. When there's just some new offer that is bringing out your best, no, kung sino ka talaga, paano ka ginawa ng Diyos. Ayan, so let me make this bigger. Never underestimate the power you have to take your life in a new direction. Ayan, no, meron kang kapangyarihan para baguin ang direksyon mo. No? So just think about the decisions that you made in the past, how you have arrived there. And you can still do a lot of great things. God is not done with you yet. You mayroon ka pang ibubuga, mayroon ka pang ibibigay. No matter I think regardless of age, there's always a potential that we have to strive for. Whether you're a retired person or in at the height of your career, there's that power that God instilled in you because there is that longing of that direction in your life. So yes, ano tayo, bring out the best in you. Tanungin parate, will this new opportunity make me more loving? Will this new opportunity make me more of a servant? Will this new opportunity help me become more and more like Christ, even if it's in the workplace, di ba? So pag-isipan po natin yan. When I say the best in you, that will bring out the Christ in you. Ayan. So, number 4, it's time to shift. It's time to head on to a new direction when family needs are affected. Siyempre, first and foremost, you answer to your vocation. Your vocation is important. And if you are a provider, if you're someone who supports your family, what is the best decision that will benefit your family the most? Ayan, no? So, mahalaga po ito kasi sometimes we follow our passions to the point of affecting our families, di ba? So, think about that. Am I doing my role? Am I doing my primary role as someone who can provide the best possible things for my home, 'di ba? Pero pag hindi na, baka it's time to shift to a new gear or to a new direction way, no? Kasi the whole point naman is to really be our best, according to the gifts that God has given us. Ayan, so yan, pag-isipan nyo, naapektuhan na ba yung aking pamilya? No, baka kung naapektuhan na, kailangan ng bago. No, kung wala ka ng oras sa pamilya mo, kung wala ka ng panahon or tatampo na sila, yan, baka hindi na mabuti kasi nagtatampo na naghinahanap ka na. Okay, so think about that, pray about that. And the 5th is when you feel that you're going to regret staying on. Ayan. Pagsisisihan ko ba na hindi ako nag-move forward into other things? Pagsisisihan ko ba na I just remained here and lived the rest of my life doing the same things over and over? When I become 80 years old and look back on my life, will I regret not having taken the shift when I had to? Ayan. So these are things. Kasi there's also that pain of regret na mas masakit na I could have done other things with my life when I could have had that chance and opportunity. So if you're gonna regret staying on in your current business or in your current job, ayan, no, think about that. No, but if you think like, hey, I don't think I'll regret it. No, so maybe it's something to consider also. No, maybe you'll regret not staying on also, kasi if you just gave more effort and more hustle and more time and more passion to it, baka naabot mo na rin yung uh, things that you ought to achieve. Kasi hindi rin maganda na you keep on shifting. No? Yung shift here, shift that, konting trouble and problem lang, you shift and shift. No? So you end up always going back to square one, even if your life is already advanced in years na, di ba? So you want to stick to something also that you can invest your life on. If you found a good company, well and good. If you found a good business, then hey, if you see yourself retiring doing that business or being in that career or job, hey, you've found something. You've found gold in that. You found a pearl, kumbaga. So, but if you feel like the next 20 years of my life will be something you'll regret, no? So maybe it's good to pray about that. Maybe it's good to rethink your choices. Okay, that's number 5. All right, so 5 ways to know when it's time to shift. Number 1, when you feel like you're not growing anymore where you are. Number 2, when your values are being compromised, na parang hindi na nakakabuti sa inyong kaluluwa, sa inyong pag-iisip. Number 3, it's time to shift when a new opportunity can bring out the best in you, can bring out the Christ in you and make you a better provider. Number 4, when family needs are affected. Ayan, kung nagre-reklamo na yung mga anak natin, our spouses, think about that kasi they come first. And the last one is when you feel that you're going to regret staying on. It's time to shift when these things are, shall we say, already being compromised. Okay. So those are my thoughts. Baka may maisip pa kayo, no? How do you know when it's time to move forward into other things instead of just hanging on to what you have? All right, cool. Hey, thanks for watching this show, guys. It's a quick 30-minute show, and I try to give as much value as possible. Every TTH here in the Fired Up Life Show. Hey, think about supporting the Fired Up Life Show. Be a patron. You can send stars. You can also be a supporter through Facebook. And of course, you can also support through GCash through that number that you see here in the screen or on the screen. Ayan, support the show. Go to patreon.com/fireduplife. Be a patron. You can see it there in our descriptions. Salamat sa mga Facebook supporters and Fired Up patrons through the months. Ayan. No? So yes, salamat po. Ayan. Thank you so much, guys. Send stars, and don't forget to go to fireduplifestore.com to check out some of my products, especially my book, 365 Fired Up Days. Ayan. So let me see some of the comments. Hello, Rommel. Ayan. Tama, no? I didn't include this, but when your health is also affected, ayan, baka naman ikamamatay mo na yung ginagawa mo. Maybe it's like there's a toxicity that's happening there, and you're not being paid justly and fairly, and so much demand is being asked of you. Wala ka ng tulog halos, 'di ba? Pigang-piga ka na, and I don't think that's fair, right? So hey, thanks for bringing this up, Rommel. Yan, pag apektado ng ang inyong kalagayan, na high blood ka na or na hospital ka na, I think it's also some indicators that you should shift into doing something else. Okay. Hey, thanks so much for that comment. All right. So hey, if you're watching this on replay, just comment down below. What do you think? What are the indicators when it's time to shift? I'd really appreciate your comments, and of course, thanks for watching the Fired Up Live show, guys. Nakakatuwa that people are still coming, every TTH at 3 p.m. here in our page, Kirby Liaban Fired Up Live. Ayun po. That's it for today. And hey, may mga pahabol. Yan, when you're stressed with your work, yes, that's true, no? There are different kinds of stresses, 'di ba? Kasi when something is really demanded naman of you, talagang nakaka-stress yan. But when that stress is already making you miserable, when that stress is already, really taking over your life. You can't anymore have your own life. Kasi dapat, when you want, you have to know when your work starts and when your work ends. And when, even if you feel like your work should end at this time, nandun pa rin yung you feel the stress. Now, yeah, maybe it's an indicator also. It depends on each of our situations. Hey, thank you so much, Janet, for your comment here. Yan. And yeah, may mga dagdag pa pala. When you're no longer at peace. Ayan. So, when I say no longer at peace, parang baka lang you're feeling disturbed in your heart. Yan, hindi ka na nakakatulog, hindi ka na maayos ang pag-iisip because of the things that you're doing. And hey, thanks Rommel. Ayan. You're welcome. Janet, thank you. Keep being fired up. Keep coming back in our show. All right. So that's it for today, guys. And hope to see you on Thursday for another episode of our Fired Up Live show. Para tayo ay tuloy-tuloy na fired up for God, fired up for our work, and fired up for our families. That's it. God bless you. Keep being fired up. Bye.